Hello and welcome to a new lesson of the Git Basics course of Rails Karate. In this episode, we're gonna talk about GitHub. So, you know that we have been working with remote repositories, but so far we have worked with local remote repositories. So we have a clone of our master repository and it is inside our computer or inside our workspace. Um, so we want to uh, upload this repository somewhere on the cloud so others can copy it from the internet. We can do this in a public or in a private manner. I'm going to explain that later. So let's start. First of all, mm, go to github.com. But before we continue, what's GitHub? GitHub is a remote repository website where you can host your repositories for free if you want them public. Everyone could access to the source code of your project. So you can create a free account and upload a repository uh, there. So you can sign up here, pick a username, email, and password. I already have an account, so I'm going to log in with my username, Soulless, and my password. Okay, so I logged in into my GitHub account, and let's take a look to one of the projects more known in GitHub, and it's called Rails. So let's take a look to the Rails repository. As you can see here, it's the first one we can see here. And we can see different information here. How many commits does this project have? How many releases, contributors, many other things. We can go to the issues tracker where you can see the current issues of the project. If we get in, there's people here commenting. We're gonna talk more about the issues, pull requests, and many other things in the next episode. So for the first this lesson about GitHub, let's create our own public repository here. So what we're gonna do is to upload this repository we already created in the previous lessons. We're going to upload it to GitHub. We can create here a repository. So I'm going to my profile, and I will go here and to my repositories, and I will say new. Okay. I have here some repositories you can check about. You can follow me too if you want to stay tuned about my open source contributions that are not very much, but I try to be very active as I can into the community. So I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to call it Git Basics repo English. You can add a description and you can make it public or private. If you make it public, so everyone will have access to this source code. So if someone types the name of this repository in the search, it will be visible for everyone. But if you want it private, if you're working on your startup or if you're working on a project you don't want anyone to have access, so you can make it private, but you will have to pay a subscription to GitHub to do this. So for now, I will make it public. Okay. So we can initialize the repository with a README, but we don't want to do this because we already have a repository with a README and many other files. So we are gonna start it in blank. Okay. We can add a git ignore. We can add a license. this git ignore is just a GitHub, a Git file where we can tell to Git ignore some files of our project. We will learn more about this in the Rails course, and we can add a license. This is not necessary for now. So I'm going to create a repository, and we have some tutorials from GitHub about if we are creating a new repository or if we want to push an existing repository. Some of these lines are very known for us. Here in this line, we are just creating a README with this title, Git Basics repo in. But this is a very known line about initializing a repository, adding a README, committing, making the first commit, adding a remote with a URL from GitHub, and pushing to the remote, the master branch. We don't need to do this because we already have a repository, so what we're gonna do is just to add a remote and push our code. We're gonna push our master branch to origin, that is our original repository here on GitHub. So let's do this. I'm going to copy this line. I'm going here to my Cloud9 workspace. If you're working on local, you can use your own terminal. That will be something like this. But we are working online, so here's my terminal from Cloud9. So I'm gonna say git remote add origin. This is the name of our remote, and we're going to add here the URL of the GitHub repository. So let's add it. If we say git remote, we can now see two remote repositories. Our clone that is stored in this environment, in this virtual PC of Cloud9, or in your PC, and the origin that is stored on GitHub, on the internet. So now we're going to push our code using just this command, git push origin master, and this U is just to provide a user and a password for GitHub. So let's log into GitHub with our username and password, and let's see what happens. And as you can see, we have here now and that it uploaded the code. Let's see how it looks like in our repository. Let's reload the page. And as you can see, now we have all the history of our repository on GitHub. We have 14 commits, one branch, because we just uploaded the master branch. And the files we just created, the README, the file one, we can browse between the different folders and files of our project. And many other things we are gonna learn in the next episode. So stay tuned, see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.